Good afternoon. On Friday, December 24th, 2021, at approximately 4:40 p.m., Danny Kelly Jr. was shot and killed while driving to a holiday dinner with his girlfriend and his 3 young children. Since that night, our detectives and officers have worked tirelessly to bring his murderer to justice. Today, we are pleased to announce that we have made an arrest. Yesterday evening, we arrested 25-year-old Markell Lewis of Clinton. The suspect in this case has prior arrests, to include arrests just days before the murder. Prince George's County Police arrested him in Temple Hills on December 27, 2021, for being a felon in possession of a firearm. The gun recovered in that arrest has been linked to Mr. Kelly's murder. The arrest is only the first step to ensuring the road to justice begins for Danny Kelly Jr. and to bring comfort to his family and the members of our community who have been personally impacted by this loss. We extend our condolences to his family and friends. I want to publicly thank our homicide unit detectives for their dedication and perseverance to identify and arrest this suspect. From day one, their commitment to solving this senseless murder has been unwavering. Prince George's County detectives rank among the top tier in the nation. I would also like to publicly thank our federal task force officers, the fugitive unit, and all of our strategic unit investigators who assisted in making this arrest, as well as our forensics and evidence teams. A special thank you to our partners at the Metropolitan Police Department under the leadership of Chief Conte. This murder was a senseless act, another tragic incident of gun violence, and another family fracture. The motive for this shooting was road rage. I want to take this opportunity to stress that settling any dispute, including disputes along our roadways, with violence is never the answer. The results last a lifetime. Today, we pass the baton to our criminal justice partners to continue the process for delivering justice for Danny Kelly Jr., his children, and his entire family who are left to mourn this great loss. The Prince George's County Police Department remain committed to a safer and better Prince George's County. With that, I'll take any questions that you may have.
Sir, did you say since he was arrested days before this, you said, oh, actually it would be after? He was arrested after the shooting, correct?
Yes, just days after the murder.
So that changed the question, I'm sorry, I thought you meant. So, how were you able to, so he was arrested on some sort of gun offense. Could you tell us a little bit more about that and about the link to the vehicle as well?
Well, we arrested him on the gun offense, and we link the gun to the murder. There's a process for gathering evidence or testing weapons, and these investigations are very tedious. I mentioned we have the best among the best detectives in the top tier in the nation, and they put these things together as you would put a pieces of a puzzle together, and it's very time-consuming and work that really can't be measured in any great sense. And they put those things together, and we were able to link the weapon that he was arrested with through procedures, and we identified that and put him with that.
So he was arrested with a gun after
Yes.
this murder.
Yes.
But he was released on that charge when you picked him up at his house.
Yes.
Any comment about that?
Well, no.
Circumstances?
No, I think this is the process. And Prince George's County Police, we are dedicated to any process in which we serve in, and we only do what we do. Prince George's County Police, we make arrests. Individuals do bad things. In this case, a murder happened. So the other cogs in the wheel of the criminal justice system that operates, we are mainly concerned about ours.
Can you say, what I was trying to ask was the actual offense that he was originally arrested for? Did he fire the gun? Was it?
Yes, ma'am. He was arrested because he was in possession, felon in possession of a firearm. That was the arrest that we arrested him. And
Can you say what the felony was?
the,
That he was a felony, convicted felon?
no, not at this time. Is there any other questions? If we don't have any more questions, I would like to take this time to close out to present a few things that I think are noteworthy here. As I mentioned, these cases take a lot of time. Homicides, any act of violence is serious, but a homicide, I don't think anyone would offer any debate that it's the most serious violent offense you can make. We've had, in 2021, we've had 3 road rage incidents resulting in a homicide in 2021. Which added to our homicides, an increase in homicides, which is one of the reasons why we stood up the Gun Intelligence Unit and fortified it to look at those processes along the way, and I think it's been very valuable. The second thing is I think we have a great team here that works in conjunction with the community and our other partners inside this law enforcement realm. And behind me are some of those people in Bureau of Investigations and Forensic Science. It is Deputy Chief Ardano and his team, which is Major Dave Blazer, Lieutenant King, Lieutenant Goudreau, Sergeant McVitie, and our lead detective Reed. They played in his team, they played a instrumental part as team members to bring some resolve to the family. And I talked to one of his family members this morning, and the initial praise that she gave to our homicide unit and the way we work in conjunction with all of our partners, including the Metropolitan Police Department, she gave immediate praise to our homicide unit. And so I don't want the opportunity to pass without sharing that same praise that I have for them with the work that they do in Prince George's County. We must stay focused on the violence that has taken place in Prince George's County. And here in the region and across the nation, last year we arrested 941 people for some illegal gun possession, and we seized 1,399 guns on our streets in Prince George's County alone, and that gives you the magnitude of the problem of violence that we're facing. And I join with our community to help us in resolving violence into something that is not measured in the amount of violence, especially homicides that we are seeing, that we must make our county safer and better. With that said, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for coming out.
Let me take one more try. You're going to go there, but so this guy, as I understand it, was arrested in the district with a gun in October and released. Arrested, you charged that he did a murder on Christmas Eve, didn't know it, wasn't linked to the crime yet, picked up with a gun again, and then immediately released. Does that other cog in the system bear some responsibility for what you just described?
Well, I think that there's responsibility and accountability to be shared across the criminal justice system. And the question you're asking, I think you very well may know the actual answer to it. And I think it's better people to answer that question than the police chief. I think here we can grow frustrated at the actions of any other cog in the wheel, but we're in this together. In this county to make a better and safer county. So I don't know what happened at the end of those and why people are released and what other inputs or variables they are using to release people who are seemingly violent back to the streets. I just know your police department, your Prince George's County Police Department, those numbers I just read just mean we do what we do. We are arresting people where our officers are out there every day making these arrests. They have not given up hope to make our county safer and better. The citizens who support our police have shown a unwavering and undying support for our officers. Morale was shaken over time and over the years, and these are things that can shake morale, but yet they go out every single day and they make these arrests and they seize these weapons, and we pass the baton. And the questions that you're asking are really better questions for all of us to sit in a forum, to be in a round table, and to answer those questions as a collective team to the best of our ability. And I only can speak for the Prince George's County Police Department on what we do.
The public health office, did any tips come in, the agency, or anything?
Well, we did get some tips. All tips are valuable, so I urge our people to use all of our mechanisms on social media and Crime Solvers to help us to resolve crimes. In this particular case, we had already developed our leads before we had any tip that was beneficial to making this arrest. This arrest was really made upon the really hard work and a complex puzzle with the leadership that I just mentioned earlier, who made these things happen here. Their fortitude allowed us to make an arrest. And again, Prince George's County Homicide Unit, among even our other detectives who are involved in this, that we will bring resolution to homicide cases. And over the years, those have went from 8 or 9 out of 10 homicides being resolved. That's a very high closure rate, bringing justice to many families who have been affected by senseless acts of violence like homicide. It shows you the type of men and women you have working here in this county who are dedicated to the residents of this county.
Chief, could you elaborate any on what made you think it was road rage? What was
Well,
actually
we-
happening between the two men?
Well, we do have what we believe is evidence that let me say that Danny Kelly Jr., he did not deserve to be murdered on our streets. So if a person has any exchange of words that are not even volatile, you shouldn't just have some verbal deal or whatever it may be that caused that problem on the roadway, in which we believe that at least one party had said something, and Danny Kelly Jr. was not at fault in his murder. He is not. He was murdered by Markell Lewis, and that right there is enough said. So it doesn't matter in any verbal dispute, as what I just said here on our roadways. Taking that out in an act of violence is unacceptable. But we do have evidence that appeared to be road rage.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.